What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. So the fires are still in fact going on, actually right by the office. We are technically still under evacuation alert, and we still have a unsafe water warning. So things are pretty sketchy, but we're still playing it by ear over here. And again, thank you for all the well wishes. I got a question a couple times, actually, after my last video that I uploaded. If you haven't seen that, I went over essential equipment that you should have on hand for emergency situations, and specifically, fire safety. And that was a very interesting, fun episode to make, and it was very topical because of the situation that I find myself in right now. So the questions that I received was about the Garmin GPS unit that I use, and if there are any wristwatches that you could just use to save your life. Now, in that video, I mentioned my very inexpensive, I don't want to call it cheap, because just because it's under $20 doesn't mean it's cheap, Casio Illuminator. All right, I absolutely love that watch, and it's incredible, and it's something that you can just have on the wrist and not worry about, and it's essentially like, a diet GShock. But is that watch going to actually save your life? Probably not. It's just a good watch to have in a, tough, rugged situation. Another great option would be just your basic GShock like this, DW6900. But is this going to save my life? Probably not. But are there other watches that could potentially save your life? Actually, yes, and we're going to go over that list today. It is 1:11 p.m. Let's get down to business. Since this question was brought up because of my little Garmin GPS unit, I think it only makes sense to kick off the list with the Garmin Instinct 2X Solar Tactical Edition. Now, this comes in a few different colorways. Black, I believe, kind of like a coyote tan, and I think even an olive drab. But here we're looking at the black one. These Garmins are not undersized, although they do tend to wear a bit less chunkier, I'll say, than a GShock. It still takes up a whole lot of real estate on the wrist, but it's not as, I'll say, bulky. People ask me why I haven't personally gotten a Garmin yet, and the reason why isn't because I dislike these Garmin Instinct tactical watches. I think they have a whole heck of a lot of information on them, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. And they're, relatively affordable. This one's $499, essentially $500. But it's just that whenever I think of pulling the trigger on one of those, there's a GShock that I'm more interested in. So I guess it's just, old habits die hard, I suppose, but I'm a GShock boy, I'm sorry. Will I ever get one of these? Probably, eventually. I'll see how they feel as far as owning them. I've worn some of my friends, and I think they're cool, but again, anytime I think about buying one, there's like a GShock that's like further up on my list. So why could this save your life? Well, it's a Garmin, so it does have GPS capabilities, and it's very, very tough. So my Garmin InReach is a very, very durable little unit. I've dropped that on rocks and stuff, and it has decent water resistance. But for this watch, you can just have it on your wrist, and again, very durable, has good water resistance, has GPS, has a built-in LED flashlight. Because it's the tactical variant, it has night vision capability and compatibility. It has sensors on the case back, so it is monitoring all your pertinent, health functions, heart rate, and things like that. Things that I have here on my whoop strap. And it's solar powered, so that's, very, very convenient. There are some downsides, though. It is 50 millimeters. Okay, so again, it's not a small watch by any means. It has a 100 meter water resistance rating as opposed to GShock's 200 meter water resistance ratings, but that's, 100's fine. And these are exclusively negative display, I believe. So if you do not like negative display watches, then this one is probably, not something you should consider. But with all the health features and the GPS, in a rough situation, this could feasibly save your life. So I guess it makes sense to kind of move on to its, competitor, which would be, I think, Master of GShock Rangeman. Specifically, the GPRH 1001. Now, this is full-fledged G-Shock, baby. Like, you can look at it. This has the big chunky boy case, perfect for a chunky boy like me. Oh my god. But this also has sensors on the case back monitoring your health functions. You could, I guess, wear this 24/7, which is how they market it, because it does, track your sleep. It does track your recovery. And I could never see myself wearing one of these G-Shocks 24/7 while I sleep. The only thing I have on my wrist while I sleep is this whoop strap, and it's because it is very, 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 sleek and slim and light. These G-Shocks, dude, anyone who would want to wear one 24/7, more power to you. I think you're a badass. I couldn't do it, but this does have all those features that are important to, monitor your health. And just like the Garmin Instinct Tactical that we just took a look at, this one, if you are a fitness enthusiast, or if you are doing something that is, exerting yourself physically, this will track your calorie expenditure. It kind of tethers to other fitness applications like Strava. But with all that being said, how could it save your life? Well, pretty much in the exact same way the Garmin could. Has GPS and, again, those health functions. So if your heart rate is doing something kind of crazy and you're not exerting yourself, it could give you some, heads up that you might want to get some help. Or if you find yourself stranded somewhere, maybe that GPS could help you get to, someplace more safe. So why would I choose this over the Garmin? Well, it's a G-Shock, so that's, I think, a plus already. I'm just a huge fan of G-Shocks. But I think that this is a little bit more chunky boy durable, has that huge resin shroud, and I think there's no way you could damage this one. Has a 200 meter water resistance rating, which is 100 meters more than the Garmin. Not that you will ever use those extra 100 meters. And it is also solar powered. So if you are looking for something like the Garmin, but something that's like supremely durable, this might be a better option. And it's pretty much the same price. This is like $500 right now on the button. So technically a penny more expensive than the Garmin. Let's move on real quick to another G-Shock. Okay, we're not going to spend too much time with this one, but this is the next watch on the list that I think if you had on your wrist, it could save you. Now, this one I think is even better than the Rangeman and the Garmin. And you might be a little confused. You might be like, wait, hold on. This one does less than both those other watches. And it's true. I'm talking about the Mudman, okay? This is also a Master of G. It's the GW9500-3. This is the olive drab variant. I believe this is the most up-to-date Mudman, and this is the next watch I want. So if anyone wants to gift me about it's $380 brand new, but that's from the Casio G-Shock website. You can find them for like $350 elsewhere. If anybody wants to gift me one, you can go ahead and send me PayPal. You can go ahead and send me what's called a super thanks on YouTube, or you can just keep watching my content, and I'll really, really appreciate that. But this is the next watch I want to buy. It doesn't have a sensor, okay? It doesn't do any of the heart rate, health, fitness tracking, and that's because I utilize a whoop strap already with these, crazy weird sensors. So I don't need to have that form of redundancy on my person because I'm already wearing that health monitoring. So why could this save your life? Well, it is a G-Shock, so it has the 200 meter water resistance rating. It's also solar powered. This one, though, still has the triple sensor. So it has the altimeter, it has a digital compass, and then, I believe the thermometer. For me personally, I already have the Garmin InReach unit, and then I already have all the health monitoring on my other wrist. So for this, having that compass might really help me out if I needed to use it. So it's not as functional as the first two watches. This one's a few $100 less expensive than the first two watches, and it could theoretically save your life if you're trying to navigate somewhere. Moving down even further when we're talking about affordability, functionality, and, ways to save your life via a wristwatch, the twin sensor. I know, we went from like a whole bunch of crazy Bluetooth health sensor watches at the beginning. Then we took a look at a triple sensor Casio. Now we're again with a Casio, but this is a twin sensor. Again, you don't need your phone, doesn't do any Bluetooth stuff, doesn't have any sensoring. This is less than $100 on Casio's own website. This is $69.95. I think you should just buy it because it has 69 in the price. That's nice. But this has the 200-meter water resistance rating. It has a digital thermometer. It has a digital compass. And again, it's not a negative display. So this is the first watch we've taken a look at that has a regular digital display. So if you have poor vision like me, or you have difficult seeing in low light, not only does this have a backlight, has a nice regular digital display, easy to see, very big and bold, and it even has a compass on it, digital compass, thermometer. It could theoretically help you out if you are lost and you're just trying to find a direction and get out of wherever you are. The next watch we're going to take a look at kind of takes us back in time here on the Time Teller channel. There's many watches out there that have compass bezels or internal rotating compasses. Think Seiko Alpinist, think Boulder Expedition. I taught you guys how to navigate utilizing your analog watch in probably one of my first ever videos on this channel. It's, again, kind of a blast from the past talking about this. But if you were to navigate and you don't like digital watches, you don't want to have any of that high-tech, stupid buffoonery, having a Boulder Expedition or a watch that is similar with a compass bezel, you can do it without the compass bezel, by the way, but utilizing the compass bezel and the analog handset, you can use it to find a direction and navigate yourself away from something or towards something, and that could theoretically save your life. If you want to learn how to do that, I'm going to link the video in the description and somewhere here on the corner so you can check that video out and learn how to use your watch that way. I think it's really, really fun. All right, guys, so we've taken a look at a few fairly affordable watches. Every watch we've taken a look at right now has been under $1,000. Now we're going to go to the ultimate save your ass watch. This is the watch that if you have unlimited money and you really got to have something on your wrist that's pretty much guaranteed to get you out of a bad situation. Again, this is not going to be affordable by any stretch of the imagination. On the low end, this is just over $16,000, and on the higher end, it's just over $19,000. So, like, if you have 20 grand to spend, then I guess you could get like the king of save yourself watches, the Breitling Emergency. Okay, this is a watch that it literally has the SOS beacon that your Garmin InReach would have, but it's on your wrist. Now, this is crazy because it is a feature that you will have on your person every day, assuming you wear this watch. And if you hit that button, now again, it has a little threaded cap so you can't accidentally hit it, but if you do hit that button, depending on where you are and what kind of saving you require, it's like, I think I read that it's like on average over $20,000. But again, your life is priceless, right? But don't buy the watch and just arbitrarily hit that button because it is very pricey. But again, if you're ever in a scenario where you need to even consider hitting that button, you're probably not worried about money. But yeah, this is, when I think SOS watches, when I think safety watches, emergency watches, I'm literally always thinking about the Breitling Emergency. Will I ever have one? Well, I mean, if I ever have unlimited money, I think it'd be fun to have this just as something in my collection because it has such a unique feature. Do you need this? I don't think so, only because there are other very affordable options when it comes to that same functionality. Again, I've said it a million times. I have a Garmin InReach Mini unit That is, I think I spent like 200 something dollars on it. And I pay a fairly affordable subscription every month. That subscription ranges from like $20 and then you can go up from there. But really, you only need to pay like not that much every month, and you can even pause your subscription if you're not using it. But let's say, oh, it's getting nicer out, it's spring. This is when I typically go out and about, outside into the mountains, running trails or whatever you do. Then for that month, I'm going to pay the subscription. Oh, it's getting rainier outside and colder or snowy, and I don't go out much, so I'm going to halt my subscription. You can even do that. But if you're a total baller badass and you want to have something crazy on the wrist, that's, has a very high chance of saving your ass in a bad situation. Sure, drop 20 grand on a Breitling emergency. So there you have it, guys. A few watches that could save your ass if you ever find yourself in a bad scenario. Again, just be prepared, and you don't have to be some crazy prepper. Just be reasonably prepared. And if you haven't seen the video that I made before this one, go ahead and check that out. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed, and stay safe. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.